No.
He broke his cock when you rear-ended us. We need someone to finish the scene.
Hi, guys.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello.
I'm good. I feel like in quarantine, it's been like really hack to just tell people like, oh, it's apocalypse going on, right?
Yeah.
But you guys managed to come out during maybe the real apocalypse.
That's true. We're very brave.
Yeah,
I think
and Christian.
all of our family homes are under evacuation warnings right now.
True.
Yeah.
Cool. You know.
I know that if this is the apocalypse, that I'm right with God, though, so I'm good.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Me and him are not tight. What about you, Tyler?
Me and God, we've had our issues. We worked them out though. You
Okay,
know?
that's good.
I feel like if I die, he'll give me a look. He'll look me over.
I heard he plays back on a tape recorder all the times you jerked off and makes you watch it.
I actually sent my tape in to heaven to make it.
Like Wipeout or something.
I sent my clip. I hope he
Yeah.
responds. In their
Wait, are
backpacks.
you really about to do cocaine right now?
Oh no, I bring out a notepad for like
Okay.
writing timestamps down for editing and shit.
I forgot that there's a camera on you, so you could
You can
so they
refute
see
that.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be weird if I just did like an interview show where the host is just on a god mic with no camera. That'd be a little creepy, I think.
Dude,
That'd
yeah,
kinda roll.
and the audience members in a sensory deprivation tank.
So they don't hear the
Have you ever-
question.
Have you ever been in one of those?
No, I want to.
I did one, and what was so insulting, so the actual experience, while way too expensive, was actually really nice.
Okay.
But what really upset me is that while I was in line for my appointment at the float spa, Joe Rogan's like On It branded protein powders were right behind me, and I was really upset because obviously I had found out about sensory deprivation tanks from his podcast. I was like, I am just fucking.
That rocks, dude. That truly
I'm
rocks.
a sucker.
Did they make you shave your head before you went in?
No,
Like
I just had to. The password was just yelling alpha through a wall, and they let you in. It was cool though.
Yeah.
Once you're once you let your mind wander and you're like in that meditative space, the sensation of it is crazy because since the water is body temperature and you can't see any shit, there's a point where I couldn't tell if I was lying on my back or vertically. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, and it felt like I was kind of not flying like fast, but like I was very slowly moving.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I heard music, which meant like 5 minutes until your thing is up. And it sucks because it's like an hour long session, and it takes you like 45 minutes to get into the groove.
What type of music do they let you out of?
Oh, it's just like it creeps in very like all of a sudden like soft
I like
piano.
they just have the radio going. And it's like 100 pop songs. Some Kesha comes on.
It's just Kids Bop.
That would go hard, dude.
Dude, the slow like ascent into Kids Bop from sensory deprivation.
And then Lucky by Britney Spears.
If someone actually just starts DJing to you in there until you just get out.
That would rock. Yeah. Oh man, but you get the light, and that's when you know you got 1 minute.
Yeah,
left.
thank you. That's been my time.
If you don't mind, could I actually ask you to take off those glasses?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Because I had no idea how much they would actually be It looked like I was talking to Cyborg.
Whoa,
Dude.
Put them on. That's sick.
Yeah. I can put them upside down.
So how you guys fill in the quarantine time? Bad question.
Yeah.
Nah, I mean it's all right.
Yeah, I'd say like the first chunk of quarantine, I was like, I got this. And then
Yeah, it was kind of
somewhere. Well, then like my whole house and everyone like moved out and stuff, so that got stressful. And then I got hella depressed with like not doing comedy and stuff. And then slowly, I've been building the beast that is back up.
Yeah,
know?
I mean, I've said it with every guest so far. This is just coping. This isn't because this isn't. I always wanted to do like in comedy. It was always not upsetting to me, but intimidating to me how many people had interests around comedy too. Like they want to write a pilot or they want to do sketches. And I just wanted to tell jokes. I never wanted to do anything else. So when quarantine happened and then all those people could, work on their pilot or like, make some sketches or something like that. And like, I realized that I watch more podcasts than I listen to now. Like actually, like a lot of them are just very enjoyable as just long talk shows.
Sure.
But I like, as much as I wanted to do that and wanted to be a part of it, like, you know, you only want to start a podcast once you know, people give a shit who you are. You know, you don't want to start from obscurity or anything. So I never really wanted to like get my ass in gear and do this until all this shit happened. And it was like, it was either this or fucking killing myself.
Yeah. You got to find like something to do.
My idea too was like, it's the time we've been given the time to work on the aspects outside of comedy that are skills that help comedy, you know?
Yeah,
like
totally.
That's why everyone's transitioning to like Twitch streaming and like this and everything. And it's a smart move. Cause like all of that you build a base and everything too from like,
and it's happening like little by little. Like
I
got, you know, some Twitch followers. I plugged they're like, oh, what's that brick wall behind you? Where are you? You turn the camera on. It's a studio. Like, oh, what? A studio? I'm like, actually, if you check out my Instagram, and then lo and behold, like from that stream, I get like 5 followers on Instagram, and you
That's
start
awesome.
to see the like, oh, this is gonna take a fucking long time, but it's kind of happening.
Yeah.
Like,
it's the beginnings of it. That's so sick. I've been looking at this time where I'm like, if I can't do these things now, then I never will. Like I'm never gonna have a time where I'm not doing comedy again, and like honestly, like stressing about doing it. So if I'm not able to capitalize this free time in a way that I feel like is helpful and meaningful, then then I wouldn't do it anyway. So like time to put the cards on the table, you know?
I know you have like you're starting an IG live show or something. I saw you in front of a green screen or something.
I did that yesterday just as like I had the idea the night before and I thought it'd be fun to just fuck with people on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. And I found a program that I could live stream to Instagram from my computer. So I was doing that. The only thing is the resolution is just kind of fucked for like Instagram stories.
It's so annoying formatting for Instagram.
Yeah. So like I was trying like doing it and I did. It was doing pretty good and I was surprised like I was streaming off Wi-Fi and there wasn't like that much like bit rate drops or anything. But yeah, I was just responding like I was looking up for live animals and I found someone was selling a guinea pig and I was asking them if they're edible and also like do you prefer a dry rub or a marinade and stuff, and then someone was selling roly polies and I was like I made the email text as big as possible and then bolded it and I was like I want to invest in your business. They asked for $100K, so I'm in talks with them trying.
Are you negotiating down?
Yeah, no, I'm telling them I can give them the $100K.
That rocks.
I want to know
so
the
much.
return because they're selling 60 isopods for $40.
What's an isopod?
A roly-poly.
Okay, why'd you say that like I know it, and B, why did you know it?
Everyone knows what
it's my business.
Yeah. You know, I just feel like if the person ever sees this podcast, they got to know I know the lingo and that I'm serious about this.
That feels fair.
Yeah.
Dude, that was so fun. I caught that clip of it and I was like, dude, this fucking rocks.
Yeah.
Like,
Prank stuff is so, forget conducting it, just watching a prank for me is so stressful. I don't know. I think it's the same reason why like crowd work stresses me out. It's just like a variable I cannot control. It's just fucking kind of crazy.
Oh, that's so funny.
And to center an entire show around it gives me like palpitations.
Yeah,
Really?
that's the thing is like I don't even respond to most of my friends. So like the fact that I'm like hitting up Craigslist ads and then responding instantly, but someone texts me and it takes me 3 days to say something. Like it's.
Why did it take you 3 days? Because it takes me a long time sometimes.
I think like I don't know, it's just like headspace and everything, but at the same time like it's usually like like I'll either send a response and then they keep it going and then I just like go about my day. And it's not like against them, it's just I'm a piece of shit and I'd rather either fucking like do my own thing and not have to. I guess it's a little bit about control of having like I don't want to have to do things like if they're coming at me, I feel like that's pressure on me instead of me releasing pressure, you know? I don't know. I'll respond, but it just takes a while. And I think I'm just naturally lazy.
Why do you think you're bad about it, Murad?
Well, actually, so like usually I'm really good about it, but as soon as somebody needs me to do something that I don't want to do, it's like in the moment, I'm not lying to them. I'm really not. I'm like 100% telling the truth. And I'll tell them like, okay, I'll take care of it. And then like 2 months will go by or something like that. And that's my problem. And I don't know what it is, because usually the task they're asking me to do is something that's like kind of unpleasant or boring or just something I don't want to do. But really it would only take 10 minutes.
Yeah. Sure.
And instead I delay it for 2 months and it becomes like a $300 parking ticket or like, you know what I mean? Like it's
same
just
thing. Yeah. I had a parking ticket from SAC and I was just all like,
I have an LA one that is like $1,000 now. I'm just too fucking
yeah, so we just never go to those cities.
Exactly, you know? Like,
what are they gonna
it's
do?
good quarantine happened because I don't have a reason to be in LA.
Exactly. Right? I'm really bad about opening a text and reading it and going, oh, I'll respond to that, and then putting my phone down and like.
Yeah, that's the one thing is all like the other reason is like I'll see it and I'll be like, oh, I'm in the middle of something else, and then I'll stay doing that, and then I just totally forget. And it'll be like too long. It's been like too many hours. Where I think about it and then I go, it's too long now.
I'm in the middle of not responding to someone else.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll tell me like I'll get it like maybe we're in a conversation and then they send me a text and it gives me like all the information I need. I internalize it and then I just don't acknowledge it. You know what I mean?
I do that.
Like, oh, okay, I now know what I need to know, and I'm going to move on. Yeah. Whereas the other person is still waiting on me.
Totally. That's why I love that they've added the like feature to text messages.
Yeah,
this is
I'm on Android, so I don't get that. But I love it on like Facebook.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how I'm like, okay, that was, I'm done. But
part of the Android gang, why do we get so much hate?
I don't know, but it's one of the most classist issues in our because I've gotten the same like, oh, like what are you poor when they seen the green bubble thing
that rocks.
It's like from my friend who like drove his like 96 Accord to my place. I'm like, fuck off, dude.
Like no one tried to commit suicide making your phone. Like, what? You're the net or the factory those were made in doesn't have a safety net for when people just decide it's over. Like it's I don't know. Ian Edwards had a really funny joke about it because he's black, vegan, and has an Android. Like I'm the most discriminated against ever now.
That's like a 5th class citizen.
He took the time to make fun of me after that after the show that you did with him because I was wearing a Carly Rae Jepsen shirt, and he just laid into me. So now knowing that he's black, vegan, and has an Android, I wish I had
no
known
ground.
That. I was like, I wish I had known then that I was like, this is what? Like, excuse me, sir. Like,
I heard that she makes legitimately good music.
You want to talk about that? I could talk about that for
we
a
don't
long
have to.
time. Like, there's a whole podcast on Spotify of me talking only about that.
Really?
Yes.
I love pop right now.
Yeah, it rocks.
Like Jessie Ware and Charlie XCX.
Yeah.
Fucking.
We're in like a real golden era of like.
Have you listened to Rina Sawayama?
Mm-mm.
Oh, she's like, do you know Clarence Clarity?
Dude, these all sound like figure skaters to me.
Being a pop singer now is mostly being a figure skater.
This was this
but it's weird. There's this like Zoomer reinterpretation of like early 2000s pop that is coming out right now. That is excellent.
Yeah, it's like Dua Lipa almost walks that line really well between that like modern sort of and early 2000s sensibility in a way that's like it's just so good.
Yeah, it's like this is like if Christina Aguilera, like you could listen to a whole album of her.
Yeah, if she was actually, literally. Yeah, dude, it rocks. Pop music is so. Anytime I bring up how much I like Carly Rae Jepsen, people always go like, "Oh, haha," right? And I'm like, no.
Yeah, people are. We've just grown to accept them for it.
Yeah, I think I am truly the most oppressed class of person, which is a male pop music fan. Actually, it's right above me is gamer, and that's it.
Dude. One time when I was like 13 for Christmas, my mom got me an all black shirt that just said gamer on it. You know how mad I was? You know how aware of how bad that is for me as an image? I was like, Mom, I can't. You expect me to wear this at school? Look at me.
You should wear that now.
I would now. That's the thing.
I had a bit I tried making working, which means it probably wasn't that funny, but it was like, like I love video games, but there's something about being called a gamer where it feels like somebody just called you a slur or something.
Yeah,
It has
a
gay
hard
in
R.
it.
Yeah, and it's just like whoa, I'm not a gamer. I love women and minorities.
Whoa! I don't know if I'd call myself a gamer.
I haven't bought Call of Duty in a while.
No, it's person.
I voted
games.
for Hillary. Okay?
Whoa! I'm with her.
Oh my god, dude! It's like a badge of like dishonor to like.
Yeah,
be
and games are
referred to as
dope.
that.
Like nobody even disagrees. Like that is a mainstream opinion that video games are cool.
And they make them all free now.
But gamer, nobody's happy about it. I don't think.
But somehow, if you're addicted to Candy Crush on your phone, you're not a gamer.
Yeah.
You're a mom.
Yeah.
Like that's
moms
it.
are.
But it's just like if you're a fan of movies, nobody calls you a fucking filmer. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
no. I call you
you just like movies.
Big film guy. Huh?
Yeah, what the fuck is with that? They just have that. Gamergate ruined them forever.
Dude.
Probably.
Well, they were ruined before Gamergate. The thing
That's
is,
fair.
I worked in video game PR.
Oh yeah.
And and I found that just about any fan base I'm a part of is like almost entirely made out of low lives. And I think it's because I have very specific interests, which is like, I used to really like pro wrestling. That's bad.
Sure.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with pro wrestling. Not that many wrong things with pro wrestlers.
Yeah.
The fans, though, holy shit.
Oh yeah.
It seems to be having a really hip resurgence right now.
Yeah, that's because like the internet made Japanese wrestling big in the States, and Japanese wrestling is actually amazing because it's like the Japanese mentality of like, this is your whole life. And
Sure.
like, yeah, and like there's tradition, and like they actually present it as though it's like a fucking sport, not like a dinner theater thing.
Okay.
But like any game conference or live wrestling show I've ever been to, the smell, the mixture of human odors that is going through the air, and the average fucking like, nobody's taking good care of themselves. Nobody.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of, and it sounds so cliche and hack, but lots of neck beards, lots of like 3 women. Like what's cool about Hood Slam in Oakland is they've actually made it so hip. It's like the only show in the fucking country that's like a 50-50 gender split. when you
Wow.
go. That's how you know it's like, that's
Actually
like legit
cool.
culture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because the
yeah.
other ones are just like, I don't know what it is that like, there's a very specific demographic of sad nerd that likes pro wrestling, and I don't know what it's like. I wish I could be that flying through the sky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
It's like tangible superhero worship, I think.
yeah,
right?
it's
Like,
creepy though,
you just
man.
see that.
And I like it, but it's just like
Yeah.
the fandom is so weird.
I get that as a fan of anime. I often go like, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
Why did I bring up shitty fan bases though?
Oh, because you're a part of all of them.
Yeah. But it
Yeah.
was in something in relation to. No. Okay. Cool.
We were talking about gamers and how it sucks to be.
Yeah.
called
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then like video game fans, just
They're the worst.
You see the level of entitlement
Yeah.
of like if they fuck up like a sequel to a game they like and they talk to the developers like they should fucking kill themselves
Yes.
or
Yeah.
like they owed them a better game.
As a
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
as a deep Pokemon fan, every single time a new one is released, the general consensus on the internet is this is the worst thing that's ever happened, and it's not even released yet. And somehow the game that they said was the worst thing that ever happened before is the best one that they've ever put out. And every time I go, look, man, I'm gonna buy it anyway. Like they
I've been
have
buying
me.
the same game since 2002.
I
Nothing's gonna stop
I play
me now.
the same game over and over, and every time I go, oh, there's like clothing options in
Yeah.
this one.
They were my
big.
biggest client in PR.
Really?
Let's talk about
You
it.
have, yeah.
no,
you
they-
have editing. power.
They were fine to work with. It was the agency that was fucking garbage to
Sure,
work with. They actually
okay.
tried to get me to sign something that said I wouldn't talk shit about them, and they were withholding my severance behind it. And
Wow.
the severance was like, okay, you bought me one more month rent. I'm not going to sign this fucking contract,
Yeah,
you
that's
asshole.
fair.
And once I did that, all of a sudden they went from like being like very short with me to being like, oh, thank you so much for your effort. And we really
Wow.
we're sorry it didn't work out. And I'm like, oh,
Damn.
you fucking snakes.
That's wild. They
Yeah.
like just rely on you to like be afraid of them.
Yeah. And it, basically what happened, I was talking about it with somebody else, but I'm stoned all the time. And
You'd never know.
really?
Yeah, I truly would never.
And the thing is I had tried being a good boy at this job. Like I was like, I got to stop fucking waking and baking and going to work. I need to take this seriously. And as soon as I stopped doing that, all of a sudden it became obvious to me how garbage they were treating us. And I realized that pot had just made me tolerate it this whole time. And then it turns out they hated sober Murad. They couldn't fucking stand me sober. And as soon as I like started complaining, they like found another entry level person they could fuck over for like less money than me. And I was out on the street, and I was like, and I literally, do you know how weird it is to be packing up your desk and putting like a Pikachu mug in there and like a Diablo figurine and like, thanks guys. It was nice meeting you.
Uniquely, no.
And dude, this actually happened. I was so mad because I was so depressed. I wasn't doing like I hadn't been doing comedy for years. Like I was just very depressed.
Whoa,
and,
okay.
Because I did comedy, like I did it a couple times in high school, a couple times in college. And then I transferred here, and I just didn't have any friends, so I like didn't do it.
Wait, aren't you from here?
Yeah, but I went to school in Missouri for journalism, which was a huge mistake. And then, it wasn't a huge mistake. It was not a huge mistake. Where I transferred to was a bigger mistake. USF, which is just like a day spa for middle class burnouts, basically.
Cool. Love that.
But
would love to be one day.
Yeah, so I was like super fucking depressed, and like all I had was this job I hated, but at least it was like paying and stuff. And when I walked out with my stuff, I like threw my Pokemon thermos at the ground in anger, which was not at all satisfying. It wasn't at all, huh?
Like an angry schoolboy,
because you can't feel like if you had just like picked up, you're like, I don't know. Fucking any other desk tchotchke,
that's close
you would
to
have
throwing a Pokeball.
Yeah, really. Isn't that's like the plot of one of the games?
Yeah.
It wasn't as cathartic as like smashing the Office Space printer. Or anything like that.
Yeah, it's a little different.
You could have just taken a hard left into Digimon.
They could have used a PR person for sure.
Yeah,
like
big time marketing guy too.
My first week on the job, Ash did blackface for the second time.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Wow. So they were really deep ending you.
Yeah. It was it was to blend in with these chimpanzee Pokemon too.
Dude.
It was really fucking bad.
But he's 10.
Yeah.
He's 10, all right?
Yeah, he doesn't know. Like, God, he did blackface.
Dude, who knew?
For
the Kanto region's racist, bro.
Yeah, who'd have thunk? Not me. No, Jinx is purple now.
Jinx is the big one.
We fixed it. Oh my God.
I mean, it's like everybody else has made this commentary, but like Pokemon is like dog fighting with gambling with kids, and the actual real life iteration of it is also gambling for kids. Like these booster packs, you don't know what the fuck you're gonna get.
Totally.
My favorite part of Pokemon is eating the rare candies. I just like candy.
Yeah, but now you only eat them for like a 3-hour period every day, right? Because you're intermittent fasting.
I have 12 to 8, but I don't eat. I'm also doing a low carb, so I can have one candy a day.
Okay,
Are you actually doing that?
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah, I've been doing intermittent fasting for like a year now.
Yeah,
I think, and you have to start at like the 16-8 interval thing because it's so hard, you know. And then eventually you get better and better at it. And now I'm doing one. Now I do 23 and 1.
Whoa! Holy crap!
And it was something about quarantine where it was like, why? What do I need breakfast for? What am I gonna do today that needs breakfast? Huh?
I like never ate breakfast, so it's like easy for me to get to 12, especially if I just drink like black coffee in the morning.
It's amazing how much that helps.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And
black
then
coffee's
fucking
like crux.
See, and then I like realized like I just like have a smoothie maker, a blender, if you want to be real about it. But fucking and I've just been like making like plant-based fucking like protein keto smoothies and down in those, and I definitely feel better. It feels like the right thing to do, but
mine felt good when it was like the 6 and 20 window. That felt good. Maybe even 4 and 20 or whatever the fuck the intervals I'm talking about.
Sure.
But now that I've gone to 23 and 1, it's bad.
That's a wild
It's
ratio.
not good.
Yeah.
And like I now have this like discoloration at the corner of my lip that is apparently because of an iron deficiency.
Okay.
Basically, I made it a full-on eating disorder.
You should probably eat like a handful of spinach.
I was 184 pounds on Father's Day, and this morning I'm 159 pounds.
Holy shit!
Damn, yeah.
Yeah, and that was like for the first 2 or 3 weeks, it was like bragging rights, and now it's like, guys, am I okay?
Yeah, now we're like, hey, Murad,
when's your hour window when you can eat?
4 to 5.
4 to 5. Okay.
Yeah, so I ate some pokey right before y'all got here.
Oh hell yeah! There you go.
Yeah.
Did you get spinach in it?
Yeah, dude.
Okay, thank God.
The seaweed salad.
God.
Yeah.
I love
Dude,
me
you
some
should have told us. We would have brought you hella iron pills.
Yeah.
And spinach, bro.
Yeah, we would have brought you some pipe or something.
Yeah.
Like, God, that's wild. I don't. Yeah, I feel like the ratio shouldn't be like the same as like the 23andMe name. Like,
Yeah.
like,
And also, it turns out that if you're like chubby and single during quarantine, if you lose a bunch of weight, you'll just be hungry and single. Nothing
Yeah, there you
actually
go.
changes.
Yeah.
wow, yeah, it's hard to meet people. Are you?
It's
on
weird.
lock-
For the first time in my life, I have my first 2 abs and
Hell
like
yeah.
Oh, fuck.
I've never had a flat stomach in my
Yeah.
life.
Sure.
And I'm realizing now, like after like fucking 20 years of being overweight and then 5 years of like dieting and exercise and weight fluctuations, I'm finally getting down to it, and I realized nothing is different. Nothing is different at all.
Yeah, see, like, the thing, like, if doing psychedelics, it really makes me see my body. Like, I'm young as shit, but I'm so fat. Like how young I am makes me want to do all these things, and then how fat I am severely limits those things. Or, like, especially, like, I did half a tab of acid yesterday, and I was like, I just want to fucking dance. It's like, I just want to move and be about. And, like, I started doing it, and I was like, yeah, this is an issue, because I feel like I could go the distance, but then my body is just like, yo, bro,
Well,
you gotta.
You are the worst looking 14-year-old I know. Like,
My dieting breakthrough happened during a bad shroom trip.
Yeah.
Where because I was so the first time I ate shrooms, it was like nothing. It was like, oh, this isn't even gross. And then the second time, it's kind of gross. And then the third time, it's pretty gross. And then ever since then, if I even look at them or smell them,
Dude, I
gag.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I fucked up. I realize now that you make tea or something like that, and it's light and it's not that bad. But back then, I was like, oh, I have to hide it in something delicious.
Yeah.
So I like fucking put it in pizza. But I was lactose intolerant, and mushrooms are food poisoning anyway.
Yeah.
So
I've always thought that's the worst way to do it.
Yeah, I didn't know it, but I'm on the toilet. I'm peeking. I have diarrhea.
oh my God.
And the thing is, it was really hot, so I had gone into the bathroom without a shirt on, and I'm like at my heaviest. So like my gut's out. I'm sweating. I'm in my friend's dirty ass house, and the shrooms are making me like germophobic. And I look down at myself, and for the first time in my life, I see my body as like a separate entity from me. Like there's a bunch of other living things in my body, and for the first time, it occurred to me like, oh, I should get healthy so I can stay alive, not to get laid.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's the only way I managed to ever stick with dieting afterwards, was like legit after that.
Yeah.
Just be like, I have to stay alive.
Yeah. This is definitely.
I have to get better. This isn't like I do want to be more attractive, but this is actually mostly for me.
Dude, because that's what it's been, like a slow build of a bunch of little things where it's like I'm finally like, because it's always been in the back of my mind. There's no way, like, being as in your head as you are and being this fat, like you don't not know every moment of your life how fat you are. So fucking like just the amalgamation of all this stuff, and it actually is just like improved my overall mental health from like before in the like quarantine depths, and like now I've been feeling great, and like I know I can do it, and fucking
that's what's so relieving about specifically keto and intermittent fasting. And I hate talking about it because there's a brick wall behind me and a microphone in my face. So the Joe Rogan, but once you find out like, oh, here's a diet that if you do it right works 100% of the time, and it'll make it so that like once you like hit your fatigue with dieting, like maybe you take a break, but you have this like relief knowing like, oh, I have a foolproof way Like I know I just have to stop eating this, and that, and eat between this and this time, and I will 100% lose weight.
Dude, a lot of fat people that I look up to lost a lot of weight too, and that made me go like, all right, you know, like Action Bronson.
Oh, did he? I didn't even see that.
He lost like 85, 90 pounds since quarantine. And then Ron Funches.
I saw that.
Yeah, he looks
like
great.
150 pounds.
Yeah.
His biggest, he was like bigger than me. So
yeah.
No, he was like, you're gonna die soon.
Yeah.
Heavy.
That was when I saw him open for John Mulaney, and that's how he looked. And I remember
Really?
being like, "This, oh man, come on, dude."
So I've been asking all the guests this because I don't really know what I want the podcast to be. Like, I just figured I would start making it and hopefully figure it out. But I've been asking every guest this, which is like, the first episode I had was James, and we both agreed that when we think of ourselves pre-quarantine, it might as well be like high school Murad, high school James. Like that's how dense these months have been in terms of growth.
Yeah.
And I've had guests who have disagreed. Like you know, Kasim, like as an older guy, had a lot. You know, he's a more fully formed human. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So even though he's taken the time to like explore other creative things, and of course he's grown. I think for people at our age specifically, this has been a crazy learning experience, right? How do you guys feel different?
Oh
yeah.
That's the thing. Everyone makes the joke about like the beginning of quarantine feels like years ago. You know, like it legit does.
It does.
You know, like
it really does.
Like from then to now, I definitely feel way different.
Same. Mm-hmm. I do feel like I feel a lot more somehow mentally healthier. I think I've just been able to I compartmentalize a lot of how I felt about things before. Like I have ADHD, which I have a story about, or like undiagnosed ADHD, and I think I struggle a lot with being productive in a meaningful way. And I used to really beat myself up about that and get real guilt tripped about it. But that wouldn't really translate into me being better or overcoming anything. And during this time, it's allowed me to find a way to kind of shed all of that sort of external pressure and find an internal sort of acceptance of how I work and what is a productive style for me.
That's exactly because for so long I thought it was a discipline issue of I could make myself productive the same way I see everybody else being productive, and then you realize this trait you have comes with a big set of drawbacks but also a lot of positives, and if you can work around those positives, it's going to be a lot easier than trying to correct the negatives. But also, so I had it diagnosed a long time ago, and it was fucking. I had teachers calling me out for it way before I had
that was what happened.
I'm sure
to me.
I'm positive you also you being a comedian. I buy it. Yeah.
I texted my mom in the middle of class one day. I was like, "Mom, are you sure I don't have ADD or ADHD or something?" And she was like, "I don't know why."
The way it happened for me was I was getting in trouble all the time in 4th grade for talking and not paying attention or whatever, and doing all that stupid stuff. And so my teacher called my mom to have a parent-teacher conference, just the 3 of us. And we sat down, and my 4th grade teacher said, "Diana, I think your son Austin has ADHD." And my mom started to cry. And then she screamed, "My son's not retarded." And she grabbed my wrist and took me out of the class, and we never talked about it again.
Wow.
Did you get ice cream after?
No.
Aww.
Dude, she just took me home. And that was it.
You retarded
and
didn't get you ice cream?
For the next 3 years, I literally went around going am I retarded? And then people would be nice to me, and I'd be like, they're just being nice to me because they know that I'm retarded. That was it, dude. It was.
Imagine calling someone out for it too. You're just being nice to me because you know I'm retarded.
Right? Yeah, man. It's Yeah, so I never got diagnosed, but everything seems it's all there.
I never got a prescription for Adderall or anything like that because I took it in for like SATs and then you take in college to
Sure.
study and stuff like that.
Sure.
And I had realized by that point, independent of just like Adderall, like, oh, I like drugs too much. Like I just knew that about myself. And then when I do Adderall, it's like, oh no, I feel like a god. I should not have a steady supply
Adderall,
of this.
that was like the first drug where I was all like, all right, like, I gotta fucking
be
not
careful
loud.
here.
Because the girl I would get it from, I get it $2 a pill. And I'm
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Dude, I could have ruled the school with that.
Yeah. Also, can you imagine a less pleasant drug to OD on?
Yeah.
Yeah, you just like the way you die is by
Quasi-death,
tunnel visioning to death. Like I don't know.
But you're getting shit done.
Yeah,
That sounds so appealing.
This man did the taxes for the entire state of California and then
Yeah.
dropped dead.
God, I've never taken Adderall in my life,
It's
and you
the
guys
best.
describing
It
it
is the best.
like that has never. It made it seem so great just now.
Well, so like I was talking to Austin about this before he got here, Tyler. I've been working on this. I got this studio space like 2.5 weeks ago, and the first week and a half was all assembly. Guess what else I got 2.5 weeks ago is
Adderall.
a prescription to Adderall.
Yeah, see, I was gonna reference that at some point,
Yeah.
but I don't have my vision anymore, so it's just gone now.
But the thing is what I was hitting the same like, and it's exacerbated by pot. Pot, I have a love-hate relationship with pot in the sense of I know I'm too dependent on it, but I also know that it like helps my anxiety a lot, and in a weird way, like if you don't get too high, it actually can help you focus more.
Sure.
Like it gets rid of that existential boredom you have that makes focusing on a task impossible, kind of. You know what I mean? But I did hit a point where it's like I would like wake up in the morning and like there's such a low ceiling to what I can do with my day, but there are like 4 things I can do.
Yes.
And then I'll do 10% of each one, and I won't finish it. And I'll just be at my desk, and I'll have these like thought loops. I'll think of like, oh, I need to take care of that, but I forgot to take care of that. Man, I should take care of this, but what about that? And like I just don't do anything. So I was like, and I was fucking miserable. So I went to my doctor, and I was like, I think it might be time for Adderall. So I asked for the lowest dose he could give me. And I'm glad, because I would always take like fucking 20 milligrams. Or like, I remember for the SAT, I took 45 milligrams. And I got a great score. And by the end of the exam, I wanted to punch a hole through a person. Like it was fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So I got the super low dose, and I was skeptical that it would do anything at all. But what I found is it's almost like I'm fucking... It's not even that I'm microdosing it. It's that for once I'm taking it responsibly as doctors intended.
Yeah.
And I found like I don't get the high or the euphoria because it's such a low dose. But what's cool about it is like I'll be in the shower, and instead of like staring at the porcelain and having an existential crisis, I'll be like, now it's time to wash my left arm. Now it's time to wash my right arm. Now it's time to like it makes you more present. Like it makes you it makes you it does it like you're not thinking about the bleak future or fuck ups in your past. You're just kind of focusing.
And you're pretty stoked about it. You're like, yeah, dude, like fucking
but it's like I'm enjoying my shower. Like cuz showers are nice. Like I should enjoy them. Yeah.
Dude, it's the best drug.
It is.
It sounds amazing.
Like maybe. Well, I was a painkiller kid in high school.
I would say, like, in terms of like just drugs you can do for fun without really being judged.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Painkillers. I feel like anyone who's like just doing them, I'm immediately like,
yeah. No, because I hung out with like all this sketchy burnouts at my nerdy ass school that like just basically meant you smoked pot and cut class once in a while, like once in a while. And one time like they were drinking a little bit, they were smoking, and then I told them I was on Percocet, and they were like, okay, like that, like the sketchy people were like, you kind of just took a big jump up, dude. Like that's like dude, I know you think we're edgy, but
they're like, dude, we just shop at Zoomies. We don't actually like do this. Like,
but there's no drug where your tolerance goes up higher than quickly, like so quickly. Like the problem with painkillers, I never had a chance to get hooked to painkillers because they were hard to find, and then once you did find them, you'd blow through them super quick. So that was like, I don't know, a blessing in disguise. Also, the worst shit I've ever taken was after like a bunch of Oxycontin. I thought I was gonna like irreparably tear something.
Oh my God.
So bad.
Yeah, I took a loose pill once, and it was...
You didn't know what it was?
No clue. And it fucked me to the point where like I was trying to write. I was like, I'm all right. And then I'd be writing and then in the middle of writing, I would forget what I was doing. And then I would be like, oh, I was writing. And then I would read it and be like, this doesn't make sense. I don't even know where I was going. And I just got caught in the loop.
Was it
of that.
Xanax or something?
No, it was a small little red guy.
It was Sudafed.
It was Advil.
Because Xanax is scary cheap.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you understand why so many kids are dying.
Oh, dude.
Like,
Oh, my God.
I've had a lot of friends.
That's like
fucking-
$2 a pill
yeah.
type shit. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Like, does this
insane.
shit grow on tree? Why is it cheaper than a fucking bake lighter?
Yeah,
Like,
what the fuck?
I've known like 3 people that have crashed their cars, fallen asleep
Oh,
on
no,
Xanax.
yeah.
Yeah.
But what's crazy about Xanax, so like if you drink to blacking out,
Mm-hmm.
you'll wake up in the morning like what happened, but you're aware that time has passed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
You're like,
Yeah.
wow, I had a really shitty night of sleep and I have a headache or
Yeah.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
On Xanax, if you take too much, you blink and it's the next day and
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's like a
Xanax
director's cut to the next day.
It's fucked.
Have you had that happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane.
I used to like the reason why I stopped doing Xanax. There came a summer after high school and we had graduated, and like we would just go to the park and buy Xanax and get wax and just dab and do Xanax at this park. And then one day, this kid we knew rolled up with his girlfriend, but this girlfriend was like 27 and we're all like 19.
Awesome.
So she was this like thick Mexican chick, and we're hanging out at this park with her, and she has a gun in her purse. And then on this park bench, she just starts crushing up Xanax with the butt end of a knife and snorts it off the park bench.
Well, okay, so
So
I looked it up.
power dynamic.
I looked it up. Snorting Xanax does nothing but waste your Xanax.
Whoa. Okay. I'm happy to know that.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm ever in a position
I
where
don't
I'm
think,
like,
yeah,
well,
I don't
want to
think
do
she ever
it.
went on Eero Wave.
Yeah, I don't think
she
she
wasn't the person on Eero Wave.
Because I always had that was the thing about being a nerd who's into
Yeah.
drugs is you would look up the best way to
Dude,
like
yeah.
ingest them.
You're like
And-
min-maxing.
yeah,
drug
exactly.
use.
Yeah. I remember being in high school and having like one like Vicodin left or something,
Uh-huh.
and I'm like, if I take this, I'm not really gonna feel much. But
Dude.
what's this boofing shit about? I didn't do it, but like I considered it deeply. But I like when I had like some Xanax, I was like, would snorting this be better? And it turns out insufflation gets rid of its bioavailability.
Dude, I remember like
Wow, that was actually true. I forgot. I didn't think I'd be able to remember that.
I
I
use
just remember, like-
bioavailability a lot, actually.
just looking up different things that could get you high in your house.
Yeah.
Dude, like nutmeg, you can get high off nutmeg. I
Yeah.
never tried it because we didn't have nutmeg, luckily. Because I'm white, so we
And you
don't
can't
season
ask your
food,
mom
yeah.
to buy
Yeah,
nutmeg.
yeah,
She's gonna be
yeah.
like, "Why?"
Mom, when you go to the store, could you get nutmeg?
And she's like, "You're gonna get high, huh?"
Yeah, she just knows instantly.
Yeah.
But like, just like Googling, I remember like there used to be this thing where it was just like weird sounds that you're supposed to like meditate to, and it was supposed
Wasn't
to like,
that how ASMR first hit the scene?
Yeah.
Wasn't it like
Probably,
people
yeah.
trying to get high?
Yeah.
I remember that shit in college, like early college.
there was like
Yeah.
different packets of
Yeah,
like this
yeah,
is
yeah.
like this drug. This
yeah,
is
and then
like that
ASMR
drug.
became like a mainstream not get
Yeah.
high
Now it's
thing.
very cool.
Yeah, I forgot until you said that. The first context I heard was like, "You'll trip if you hear this." Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's it's very strange.
Dude,
Do you think that your growth during quarantine, like your personal growth, has allowed you to responsibly take Adderall?
Yes, actually,
Yeah.
I do think so.
That rocks.
Yeah, cool. Well, now I feel a little better about myself.
Yeah, no, I think like when you were saying all that, I was like, well, it sounds like this was the only time in your history that you could have been given this,
Yeah.
and like, I mean, you could have done something productive like you have.
No,
Yeah,
at
'cause
any
no,
time.
I had the plan for this first, and I was
Yes.
just talking to my shrink, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I've been so foggy and unable to focus on anything that I'm worried if I start this project like unassisted, I'm
Yes.
just gonna blow a bunch of money or something.
Sure.
And in a way, like I have some regrets about that because there's like this bit of like, was I capable of this without the assistance of whatever? But it's such
Sure.
a low dose, and it's actually like I'm
Yeah.
taking medicine for medical purposes.
Yeah, but
now.
I'd love to see a carpenter build a house without a fucking hammer. Like,
Yeah, I guess a little
like-
bit. But I don't know. So, any other growth things you guys have noticed, or
I do. I feel like I care in a more, I don't want to say less, but I care in a more productive and healthy way what my comedic peers think of me.
okay,
yeah.
It has made me reprioritize who is important.
Yes.
Yeah, like
That's-
completely.
I gave a lot of people a lot of like clout credit
Yeah,
where I was like, oh, they're so cool. Like they're so good. Blah,
and then
blah,
when
blah.
comedy's taken away from them,
All
you're
of a
like,
sudden-
oh, I know who's actually cool.
Yes, and it's and honestly for the most part it's people that I did like admire already. But it was I think I gave a lot of people too much credit based on me seeing them early on and me being really bad and thinking they were really good.
Oh yeah.
It's also just made me like comedy a lot more, just being like, oh, you know what, I did love this thing very much, like in a way that I knew that I did, but was maybe like afraid to admit because it's like scary to be vulnerable and admit that you love comedy.
Yeah, everybody's like, I feel like everybody in the scene is too scared to admit that they want to succeed in comedy because it's so unrealistic.
Yes.
And everybody has this mindset of like, well, like that you need to offset it by being like, well, none of us are gonna make it anyway. And it's like,
exactly.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, like everyone
why are you
gives
even
like
trying?
the
Like,
asterisk of like we know we're not going to, but if we did,
don't like statistically you're right, but why are we talking about it?
Yeah,
let's
like,
just fucking try and figure it out.
we know.
Yeah.
It does suck. I do feel like right before all of this, I had hit like just a stride where I was feeling really good about comedy over the last like year. Everything else was
Oh yeah. Well, before lockdown, bro, we sold out the Improv.
that's
Like,
true.
Yeah.
We did do that.
Like,
Dude,
That's
we
true.
all had like really big, like you had just gotten, both of you had just gotten past at the Improv.
Yeah.
I was one email away from getting my first hosting set
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
Improv.
Like-
And I was in round 2 of Rooster Teeth.
We had just
Yeah.
done Sketchfest together.
Yeah,
too.
we just done Sketchfest. I had a Punchline monthly that was supposed
Yeah.
to start.
Oh,
Yeah, and I took the Punchline money and put it here.
I really
Yeah.
think you could have crushed that.
I was so excited. I was
Yeah.
running it with Tony Zavala and Alan Vukanovic.
Oh,
It
awesome.
was going to be really cool.
That's
Yeah.
the thing. Like it killed so much momentum. So like but like everyone's like rebounding now, and it's cool to see like the
Yeah.
resurgence.
And
of
it's all
I
everything.
love
happening.
that. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
been August. Have you
Yeah.
noticed? 'Cause
Yeah.
as I've been building this studio, I thought I was
Yeah.
kind of going to not blind. Like obviously there's still some part of you that's competitive, and I thought
Yeah.
like I would blindside people a little bit by all of a
Yeah.
sudden having a bunch of content out or whatever. And then I see like in the last 2 weeks, like 20 podcasts have started.
Yeah, that's the thing. I
Sure.
was gonna say, like in the past like couple weeks has really I've seen the biggest boom of like new stuff being made, and I think it's fucking great because you know it's like everyone calls it the new renaissance.
Yeah.
Like we want to see what everyone's been doing now.
I think it's sunk in with everybody that it's like, oh, maybe like another year of this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now
Yeah.
people are actually prepping for the long haul.
They're like accepting it, where before everyone was like, I'm not doing any fucking Zoom shows. When this is over in 3 weeks, I'll be back out there. And
Yeah.
it's like, yeah.
I'm still not like everybody
Sure.
because I used to run a bunch of shows.
Yeah.
Like, we're like, oh, where's your Zoom show? And it's like, hey, you know what I don't need to add to my Friday is being scared if nobody's gonna show up in a fucking Zoom lobby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then
Yeah.
I'll really fucking walk into
Dude.
traffic. Like I don't need that at all. And like, yeah, people hate on Zoom shows too much. And if you promote a Zoom show well, it's like like a better open mic because you have
Yeah.
strangers. and
Yeah,
you
they can
run-
be fun.
and you can run new material, and you'll get good feedback and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But like.
No,
To me,
yeah.
it was like, if you want me to do your Zoom show, I'll do it. I don't want to run one. I just
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah, no, I
That's the
wouldn't
thing.
enjoy
If
that.
someone asks me, I'm more than likely gonna say yes. I'm not gonna go fucking out seeking them and stuff. Like
Yeah.
out of sheer like depression, I did 2 of the park open mics. Out of like just needing fucking that, and it really fucking that alone, those 2 sets, like I had really good sets, and that alone like changed my mental health because I was like pretty fucking down, and that like took me up, and then like
Because you
from
remembered
there-
I was good at something.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like that instant validation, and then I took that energy, and that's when I started to intermittent fast and everything. Like I was like, fuck, like
It's
Yeah.
I
Like, yeah.
totally track when I started really feeling good about my productivity and stuff. Was like there were the seeds of it were there, and then I did that drive-in show with you.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
And I
yeah.
left that just being so like
That was a good night.
euphoric.
We had a great night that-
Yeah,
yeah,
it was
yeah.
awesome. It just felt like, oh, okay, like my life is still here.
Yeah, yeah. And like, it's going to be gone for a while longer, but it is going to come back.
Yeah.
That's what those shows
that's the
reminded
thing,
you.
because like without comedy, like not being able to do it, it really makes you realize like, okay, yeah, that was it. That was what I was putting everything into.
Yeah.
So what, like as soon as it was gone, I just felt like empty.
Yeah.
You know.
And I try not to be like too, obviously, like comedians being elitist about their art on podcasts.
Sure.
Basically is like the name of the game.
Yeah.
But like you saw these headlines coming out where like people were getting depressed because when quarantine hit, they realized like how meaningless their desk jobs were without the office environment.
Yep.
And for me, it was like I had meaning. Like it was like we are so lucky that we found something that's hard work that we enjoy.
Yeah.
And like what's hurt is like you'll see people who are like, I just miss going to restaurants, and it's like, fuck your restaurant.
Yeah.
Like I don't.
I miss my fulfilling.
I miss
life.
the reason I woke up in the morning.
Yeah. Completely. Like we went out like sweet brag. We went out on a real high note for sure. And that like
with your super spreader event.
Yeah, literally, dude.
Nobody could have known. You could have
before the show. We were around the corner being like, we probably should have canceled this. Like,
oh, don't say that on tape, dude.
Like, look, it's over now.
Did Rooster Teas with me that next Wednesday, and he was sick as fuck.
Yeah,
and the thing is also my folks were on a business trip in fucking Italy. When COVID popped off in Italy,
oh my God,
that was the same week as the improv show. They come back, and I'm with Stannard. Like I need to get an antibody test because I'm pretty sure I fucking got it in March or something.
Yeah,
wouldn't that be a blessing if you found out you had it?
But at the same time, like, oh, I wonder how many people I killed.
Yeah. Well, there's that.
Sick kill streak unlocked.
yeah. If you didn't hear that in your head, you didn't spread it.
Go Harrier strike.
Call the dogs.
If you get enough, I think they just start calling you Master Chief. It's very cool.
I haven't died yet, so my KDR is
excellent.
Insane.
Top tier.
Batting 1,000. Like, this is very impressive. No, that is so cool. It's so that's really been it. It's made me recontextualize our specific comedy community and our friends that we have. Yeah. And it's made me so thankful for like the time I got to hang out with people earlier this year.
And also learning that like your comedian friends, like once quarantine hit, I learned that my comedian friends weren't just my work buddies. They were like my actual friends.
They were my actual friends.
And that was really cool to find out. Yeah.
I was
worried about that.
I was very worried about that too. I always, my God, I mean, this is probably par for the course, but I do truly leave like every comedian interaction being like, I hope they like me. Like, oh God.
Yeah. That has changed a bit for me in quarantine and I say this with every guest, but because I'm catching up with people, like I retread a lot of the same stuff because I was having a terrible 2020 heading into all this. I
literally said on January 2nd, I was like, this is the worst year of my life.
Yeah, no, dude, like I was right there with you. We can talk about yours, but I lost all sources of external validation at the same time. Yeah. Like I'd just been in a breakup. Yep. I lost my social life. I lost my job. I lost
exactly.
And then I was like, oh, I need somebody to remind me that I'm not a worthless piece of shit.
Yeah.
And it took me like the first 4 months of quarantine to stop needing it from outside. And I still do obviously need it from outside a little bit. Mm-hmm. But now I'm like a lot, like me and James were talking about, like, even if it might feel like we're creatively stagnating or like we're like atrophying right now because we don't get to perform a lot.
Sure.
I think the growth we're going through now, like, I'm not joking. I think the second we get back on stage, we are going to be way better.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I was like, everyone's going to come at it with such a tenacity.
And nobody's going to be scared.
Yeah.
No.
Like with what we just went through.
Yeah.
What's like I remember, like, I did like Cobb's right before. For the first time, right before the shutdown.
Huge crowd.
And it was like 350 people.
Yeah.
And I went out and I immediately flubbed my opener. Like, I was like, and then I got it back in track and I had a good set. But now the idea of that being anything but just a fun, being a relaxed, fun time. Like, I can't imagine getting nervous.
I was thinking the other day, I was like, fuck me for every time I ask how much time do I have left.
Right?
Literally. A motherfucker, you piece of shit.
It's so funny to think about that because, like, in this moment, there is truly nothing scarier than like a crowd of 350 people. But like, like when it's back and it's like, oh, okay, this is cool. Yeah, truly, I'm gonna be like,
it's like, listen up, you fucking bozos.
Yeah,
let's go.
I'm like, there's
everyone's
too much fat in every joke that I have.
Cook energy.
Dude, honestly, like, was that not missing though?
No,
like,
but I listened. I had a clip that I thought was like, for me, because I'm new, like, I thought it was a good clip.
You're a good
it got
comic,
me
though.
a lot of stuff. And I watched that thing now, and I was like, why was I so nervous?
Yep.
Like the jokes were fine. Like why is my voice shaking? Why did I not like let that punchline breathe longer? Why am I just moving on?
Yeah.
And like all of a sudden, every nervous tick I had makes zero sense. Yeah. And then watch me like my first set be like, hey guys.
Oh my God, dude. I mean, that drive-in show we did, I was so nervous for.
But the second you got up, you felt good, right?
Oh my God. Immediately I was
It's like riding a bike.
Yeah. So you did it too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was like, all of a sudden, like the serotonin rush over my brain took over, and I was like, oh, this is, I know what I'm doing now.
Like you feel like for some jokes, like the muscle memory in your cheeks come back.
Yeah.
Like it's,
totally.
Yeah.
I legit had forgot my entire set. I forgot
before.
Like,
that's how I felt.
had to do a quick scan, and then it slowly was coming back.
I did that too, and I put some new jokes in because I was like, I'm never gonna fight. There are no mics. I got to try one or two new things. And I remembered the new jokes well because I'd been working on them. And then I was like, oh fuck, here goes my set, and I could only remember the first joke, and I'm doing it. And then I realize I can finish my set without knowing what's on like the set, like just muscle memory. I was like, okay. And like with each sentence, I'm like, I don't know what joke is next, but I know which sentence is next.
That's so funny.
You know what I mean? And I just fucking, and I did it. Like I did my whole set.
Yeah.
And like, it was, like I said, it was, I was scared that I would have to learn to ride the bike again.
Yeah. All this really feels like we're like restarting like a video game, but like keeping all of the items that we had.
It's
like,
New Game Plus. It's
yeah,
New Game Plus.
Yes. So I'm like
BOA gear.
Yeah.
I love that our generation has hit like adulthood and getting actually into a career because you can drop a reference like New Game Plus and not have to explain it to anybody.
Yeah. Like if I sit there and I go like, like quarantine's kind of like the water temple of life.
And everybody's like,
Yeah. And then I'm watching my older brother beat it for me.
That's pretty good. I like that.
It's been so crazy. I feel lucky now. I wish I could go back early in 2020 on January 1st because I spent New Year's Eve like deathly ill. I was so sick, and I still like went out with my girlfriend at the time and like all my friends, and they got so crazily drunk, and I was like stone cold sober standing there like, this sucks so much. I'm at a rooftop party in like physical pain because I'm so sick, and I was like, this is the worst year of my life. I wish I had known. When we did our Sketchfest show, I was like in a bad mood, and Gabby was like, why are you so down?
You're doing Sketchfest.
Well, I was like, my grandpa died this morning, and I was just like,
oh, Gabby said that?
Yeah. She asked me, no, she was like, oh, why do you seem so down? And I was like, my grandpa died this morning. And she like immediately was like, so nice. I was like, there's no way you could have known, man.
I liked the first, what I thought your story was, which was you were like, I'm just feeling kind of sad. And Gabby was like, my grandpa died this morning.
And I was like, oh, shit.
And I'm great.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, yeah, you're right. I'll go out and do well. Like, my
what
bad.
if that cheered you up? You're like, yeah, your grandpa died this morning.
Finally. Like, yeah, it was such a, like a boom, boom, boom kind of thing. And then me and my girlfriend broke up not too long after that. And I was just like, dude, can this year get any worse? And then now I'm like,
yeah. And like I had like my first real heartbreak. My car got broken into like 3 times in a week.
God.
I had a group of notebooks where I had written literally every set list I'd ever written in my life.
Yeah.
I had literally hundreds of set lists in there, and that was taken. And then I had like a family friend got murdered in in Egypt in a very fucking sketchy way. And there were there's like fucking 3 other things I can't remember. And the whole time I'm like, well, at least I have comedy.
Yeah. It's sad that this is the year where we're like, and there's 3 other things I can't remember. And it's like, any one of these things happened in a year, and I'd be like, this was a terrible year.
Yeah.
This happened. What you and like James, you said we're talking about, I think is dead on. We're like, so many people are going to come back so much stronger comedy-wise from this and have just this bigger breadth of like things they can pull from
and like a deeper insight,
do you
more
guys
formed
feel
perspective.
do you guys feel like your writing's been getting better in quarantine, even though you can't really test it? like the way I feel like my writing has been getting better because I've been getting more likes on Twitter.
Yes,
You know,
same.
like-
Yeah.
Well, you guys are. I don't put my writing out there unless it's on stage, and when I'm
Bro, you should
depressed,
get a
I
Twitter.
can't. I know I should.
I'm surprised you don't. You
Yeah,
feel
when
like
I
you
was
would do
the
well.
best
And the
format.
thing is I have a notes app filled with things that I didn't think were good enough for stage, and like
Wow.
what the fuck.
Well, that usually like tweets will start off as the basis of a joke, and you can expand on top of that.
I absolutely understand all the reasons why
Yeah.
Twitter is good.
Uh-huh.
It's just that I used to have to use them in PR in the most soul crushing way.
Yeah.
I associate Twitter with like just like nausea.
Were you like
Yeah.
the guy who tweeted for Wendy's or like?
I was kind of like that a little bit.
Were
Yeah,
you
yeah.
the guy who tweeted for Popeyes? Popeyes would be nothing without Black Lives because like
That was me.
greatest hit tweet.
I didn't even work for them. They just
They were like, Murad, we need a
slid in the DMs. And like, hey, I got one for you.
hey, post this.
but my point is like I've been super depressed, and
Mm-hmm.
when I'm depressed, I'm not very creative.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I haven't. I've written like fucking 6 jokes
Mm-hmm.
since quarantine,
Yeah.
which is like really upsetting to me. But like since I've started doing this again, I was hoping this would be a side effect. Is like I always came up with my best premises and stuff by talking to people.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And I had Kasim in here, and I wrote down a couple ideas, and immediately those ideas were more fleshed out than like the new ideas I was having
Yeah.
in March. So I haven't had a real chance to like really, but I absolutely see what you're saying. Like
Yeah.
I could,
Yeah.
So you've noticed your writing getting better?
Yeah, because just like the likes ratio has been going up, and it's like I don't know, because Twitter's really weird for me too. I love it. Out of the like 8 years I've been on it, I've only had one joke really like kind of blow up, and it was locally to San Jose.
Oh yeah.
So it was like it's very weird how like it's a really good gauge on how well a joke does, but it's also very bad at the same time, because like the joke that I had from San Jose, out of all my jokes about San Jose, it arguably does the worst. And then like I've had jokes with 3 likes get applause breaks.
Yeah.
So but what's good about it is you do get that instant response, kind of like comedy. So you get to know if an idea has legs or if it's just kind of like ass.
Twitch has been good for that.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
feels
Yeah.
like a good place to do
Because
that.
I'll be playing, and the thing is like you'll feel occasionally like there will be this gap, and you can feel you're playing a game
Yeah.
and they're still engaged, but then the gap gets a little too long. You're like, I need to say something,
Yeah.
and then it'll force you to throw out that stupid joke idea you had.
Yeah.
And then you look at the Twitch feed, and like motherfuckers are giving you tags. Like,
Yeah, no,
yeah,
that
it's
rocks.
sweet.
Yeah.
And
That's so cool.
it is really cool. I'm
I
gonna
think-
do a stream after this. If you guys want to check it out.
Damn,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I will for
Yeah.
sure. I admire. It's definitely made me write with less, because I normally do everything on stage also, and it definitely has made me write with a lot less fat in
Oh,
the
yeah,
joke.
yeah.
Like I'm a lot more like, it doesn't need this.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
this is boring.
I realized both in writing and in conversation, to make myself seem credible. And this is my own construct in my head that I even have to make myself sound credible. I have to like discredit myself first. So like,
Sure.
I'll do, before I say something that I really believe in, I'll be like, I don't know shit about shit, and like,
Yeah.
quarantine has made me get rid of that part.
Yeah, and just say it.
Just fucking say it.
yeah.
Yeah.
They'll do fine.
And,
They don't-
and if
Yeah.
you're really wrong, the world's gonna let you know. Like,
they'll tell you.
yeah.
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 It is crazy. It's crazy to think it feels like a lifetime ago that we did anything.
Yeah.
Like it makes it's like, I guess, good and
But,
bad.
and then
I don't know.
every month seems to be a lifetime in itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Like-
you keep thinking that the world is gonna no pun intended,
Yeah.
like is gonna just burn at a steady pace, and it
Yeah.
couldn't possibly
Yeah.
get worse.
Yeah.
And then like in the last week, our fucking state just gets set
Yeah,
on fire, and it's seriously both personally and at a global scale.
Yeah.
Every time you think you hit the bottom this fucking year, there's like a new new basement you haven't
Yeah.
explored.
I wonder
It's
if it's too, they're just trying to make you positive. They're like, no, look how more bad it could get.
Yeah. They're like, dude, he hasn't understood it yet. Okay, I
Yeah,
guess
yeah.
light it on
Yeah.
fire.
But
Should we do
Seriously.
the super volcano now?
Yeah.
the first sunny day out of quarantine
Mm-hmm.
is gonna feel amazing.
Oh my God, yeah.
Dude,
I mean,
strangers are going to be hugging each other and crying.
literally, like,
Tinder is gonna be like Fuckfest 2021
Yeah,
or whatever. Like,
God,
it's gonna
man.
be like
I mean,
we're gonna see like
9
Like we're gonna
months
see half our
after-
friends are gonna get married and divorced in
Oh,
the
yeah.
next year.
Dude,
Yeah. For the material alone. Like, dude, I mean, I do like to think of the future, even if it'll be like different, and be like, it's just gonna feel so nice to have some sort of like semblance of normalcy, I guess. But yeah, it's amazing that it keeps getting worse. But I will say the highs feel a lot higher
During quarantine?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, you appreciate the like when I got Twitch going.
Yep.
And people were, and I like somebody passed me their audience, and there were a lot of people. Like my food tasted a little better.
Yeah, which is crazy
yeah.
because some people don't even taste food anymore.
And I don't get many opportunities to taste food.
Yeah, you get
as I
1 hour a
described
day.
earlier.
Like, maybe that's why someone giving you an audience tastes like food to you. Dude, I do. I mean, I don't want to say that this is a good thing because it's ultimately, I think, not. But I think I feel like I've in a privileged enough position to turn this into something good for myself.
Oh, going back to the one other good thing about Zoom shows is because everybody in the world is unbooked, you'll accidentally do a Zoom show for 12 people, but the headliner has a Comedy Central out.
Yeah, it's like Lori Kilmartin.
And then all of a sudden, like, like I Vanessa Gonzalez, like I hadn't heard of her, and she was fucking hilarious.
She crushed.
Yeah. And I just figured she was like a friend of a friend in LA, and then I look her up, I'm like, oh, she's like one of the real life comedians.
Yeah, exactly, right? It's very funny to see how like low or how small the distance really is between you and a headliner, like a real headliner in comedy. Once you hit like this sort of like bottom level professionalism that we're at, it's like, oh, there's like 2 steps between the other thing. They take forever to get through.
I was watching Mark Smalls' Twitch.
Yeah, with Bobby Lee.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. And he was playing with his friend Bobby, and I was like, oh, wow, Bobby sounds familiar. And I was like, oh, Bobby Lee. And like that's how little like I could play Call of Duty with Mark. Yeah, and Mark can play Call of Duty. I'm only 2 Call of Duties removed.
Right. It's amazing.
Like I worked at the Improv for 2 years before I even did comedy, really. So like seeing, like I watched so much comedy, and then seeing like this person doesn't deserve to be here, you know, and then like seeing like someone being like, oh fuck, like that's it. And then like still thinking about it now, like I remember being up on the balcony watching Godfrey, and
I heard,
oh my God.
dude,
he's amazing, but like. He had an idea for a joke that I had like already. I tweeted, like, not saying that he stole it, you know, just
Obviously.
parallel thought.
Sure.
I mean, he might have. No, because I'm so good. But like it was saying that like camping's just professional homelessness, which is like pretty baseline. You know, it's easy to get to, but like I saw that and I sat there and I was like, fuck, okay, I could be a headliner then if I have those premises.
What it was for me, I'd want to be a comedian my whole life, but I always had like that gap I talked about between like when I tried it out in high school and college and like actually giving it a go in SF. One of the things that was holding me back was I was worried I was going to find out I wasn't cut out for my life dream. And then what the fuck did I have? You know what I mean?
It's scary.
Yeah. And then I went and saw Hannibal Buress at the Masonic, and he had like fucking 6 openers.
Yeah.
And 5 of them were just the most bottom of the barrel garbage, and it was all landing tremendously, and that's making me furious, but at the same time it's also like, oh, I could probably be a comedian.
Isn't it amazing? All it takes is seeing like some people having a bad set in a high position, and you go like, huh. Okay. Like I remember I went and saw Moshe Kasher at the Punchline. He's my favorite comic. And I had the reverse effect where everyone that night had an amazing set.
And you thought you were like, oh, I definitely can't do this.
No, I went like, oh, I want to do that.
Oh, okay.
Like, and I was like, I wonder how you start that. Like, I was just like, I'm not going to be anywhere close to them, but like, doesn't that seem awesome? And like the people I saw open for him were like Sammy Obeid and Nato Green, people now that I know like tangibly. And it's you get beat down for so long doing it, and I was like not working as hard as I could have, especially at first in comedy. I was like going to college and everything, and I look back now going like, oh, if I looked at me now, I would not say I was doing it, but at that time, like it felt like it.
For me, it was that fear that was stopping me from the hard work, because I was like, no, I want to be all about this. And then I remembered I could only make, in the beginning of 2019, I could only make myself do like an open mic a week or something like that. 'Cause the nerves were so bad. And then in one night I had the worst like nightmare set that you absolutely fear. The type of set that would stop you from doing comedy.
Sure.
And then somebody just dragged me to a second mic, and I flipped it, and I had the best set I'd ever had.
That's
and
amazing.
I saw that, oh, you can flip it.
Yeah.
Not even in a day.
That's what's
like
crazy.
in 20 minutes you can flip it. And then
literally street.
yeah. And then literally from that day on, I did it every single day.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I think I met you in between two like sets like that. I met you outside of Comedy Soup, and you came up, and I'd never met you before, and we just started talking. You were telling me you had just bombed on a show you really wanted to do well on, and I was like, oh, I've definitely done that. That sucks. And then I watched you go inside at Comedy Soup and have a great set, and I was like, okay, did he really bomb, or is he like just being cool?
Was that when I was doing 5-minute? Jonah had me doing 5-minute guesties in return for popping the popcorn and setting up
maybe
the chairs.
I don't know, but
I
watched.
wasn't a full-on co-producer at that point.
That must have been it. But I like watched it and was like, did he really bomb at that last show? Or is he
Me
just
and
saying
Austin did a 1-year-old's birthday party.
Yeah, we did.
That was probably the worst set.
We literally performed in a pit.
Dude, yeah, wait, with the wireless mic.
Wait, like a ball pit?
No.
No,
Oh,
like,
damn it.
I wish.
it was like
it would have been funner.
a dance floor that was like sunken into the ground.
And it was mirrors. It was completely walled with mirrors. And I went first, and we had a wireless mic. I do my first joke, and the mic dies right before my punchline.
Oh, wait. What eyes
Sidakrin.
wide shut ass
yeah,
families?
Sidakrin booked
Sidakrin
it.
got us this.
Yeah, but who
we got
wants
$50?
comedians? Yeah, great. But who wants? I would say yes too.
Yeah.
But who wants comedians for a 1-year-old's birthday?
Right.
Bad parents is who.
Dude,
right?
yeah.
Right.
Like,
He reluctantly paid us in the parking lot.
Yeah, it did not go how he
But
thought.
I just remember like being. I was like, I want to go first. I want to get this the fuck over with.
Yeah, I fucking went last, dude.
I ate so much shit, and then I like got like went up off, into the stairs, and fucking everyone was just you guys were just eating catering.
Yeah.
the catering.
They
I was
fed
like,
us
how are you
before the
guys
set.
okay? How are you guys okay standing in here? I literally went outside for the rest of the show.
I literally was trying to just eat the food because I was like, I know as soon as this is gonna start going bad and they're gonna offer us less food. And I was like, and I need to eat now.
Yeah, you started to put it in your pockets and stuff.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
He had chana masala in his
like,
too.
we have a limited window of goodwill, and we need to be nourished.
Oh yeah. I was
Every
like,
joke that bombed, they were taking food off of the catering.
well, and I was truly like, Ryan, why don't you just go like do like 30? Like it was like,
Well, how'd Ryan's set go?
I don't remember.
He was carried out of there. No,
On shoulders, yeah.
yeah.
It was an Indian 1-year-old's birthday party. So like
No one did good. It was
Yeah.
just everyone
Yeah.
quickly realized this wasn't a thing that should have been here. Because
no.
kids, I still have videos from it, but kids started to come on the dance floor. And during Austin's set, they were dancing.
And you're doing clean sets. You're like
Not really.
Semi-clean,
I don't think
kinda.
any of my jokes are particularly dirty.
Do you have
Yeah.
to be clean for 1-year-olds? They don't know what the fuck
Yeah.
you're saying.
Yeah,
right?
no.
Like,
Dude, it's hella funny because you walked in, they had a giant picture with the baby on it, and they had a sign-in sheet, and I hella wanted to sign it.
Oh, that would have
You should've.
rolled, man.
I know that would have been the comedic thing to do, but I was also like, immediately, I don't want to do this anymore.
At least you don't have to repress this. Love, Tyler. Like,
no,
I'll
don't-
see you soon.
yeah. Oh, God.
No, I did something like that once with I remember my dad was going on a business trip and it coincided with like, did you guys have like a mid-year like a February break for some reason? We would have like 4 days off in a random week in February or whatever.
Yeah, something
Anyway,
around like Martin Luther King Day, maybe.
something like, I don't know, but like, so he brought us along, and because it was a business trip, we got to ride business class, which so it was like this fucking.
It's very cool.
Yeah, and it was right like when the first ever iPad had come out, and I don't know, I was like 15 or something like that, and we went to the business class lounge to wait for our flight, and we saw all these family, and each of these kids were like, there were all these like bratty white kids screaming and throwing tantrums unless they had like their own iPads. It was basically just, it was the most 1%er ass shit
It was like a
you've
vision
ever
of
seen.
the future.
And they had a guest book. And in the guest book, you could sign and leave like a comment or a review of it. So I signed it and I just wrote, "We're all going to hell." And then I got pulled off the plane.
Yeah, you can't write that with a name like Murad Shawki.
The good hell.
And my dad, and the thing is, it's like they talk to me, they have me, and I'm just like waiting, like outside the gate, and I hear my dad talking to the flight attendant going, "He wants to be a comedian."
That rule. Oh my God. I feel like at that point they should have gone to your dad and been like, "I'm so sorry."
First class, please.
Yeah, you can have it. We'll
And eventually we swayed them that this 15-year-old traveling with his family probably wasn't going to do anything on the flight.
I feel like, we've all been in
You don't really see suicide bombers going like, middle class families of 4 out of San Francisco,
No,
I
don't think
you
you've
go,
been radicalized.
Dad, I'm going to go to the bathroom.
Please stop looking at me
Yeah.
and doing air quotes when you say, "Hey, Dad, I'm going to tie my shoe."
Hey, Dad, fuck these infidels.
No, I did it in air quotes. It was a joke.
You know what I mean?
God, dude.
So probably good that you didn't leave a little signature for that baby.
Yeah.
I wrote "fuck these infidels" in the baby book.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
He
signed
also
right.
scratched it into the bathroom mirror.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But that was par for the course then.
Yeah, because he did graffiti, and that's what he tagged.
Oh, that was my graffiti name. Fuck these infidels.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
It's not.
It takes forever to write, so he gets caught up.
It does. It's better than my old grounded tween. Yeah, man. It's sad that I missed that. I just miss performing.
Yeah. I mean,
Dude, live streaming is honestly like relatively close in the aspect that there is a instant response. There is a delay on stream, but like I noticed like when I was streaming and like interacting with people, like it did feel good.
yeah,
Like,
no, and it does. But
Yeah.
there's also this other realization I've come to, which like I was talking to Natasha Vinnick, who actually has like a pretty good social media following.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And before quarantine, she was doing a lot of live streaming talk shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And a tip she gave me was like, you actually have to engage with your audience. So
Oh,
like,
yeah, big
when you
time.
see a specific name, you call them out, you talk to them.
Yeah.
And sure enough, that works. And then I can't be the first person to make this comparison, but I realized while I was on Twitch and it was going well, and that I was like trying to like woo people into a subscribe or following or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm a cam girl. Like
Yeah.
and like they're sending me donations and tips and
the
like
thing is,
yeah.
like too, then like if those people like start to build, if it's weird when it's always just like one or two dudes, and then you're just like, all right, well now we're just vibing, but then it just at some point I feel like it gets awkward because it's just not like the same, or they're either. It's just weird to have someone like backseat game you and be your friend,
Yeah, I would hate for someone to watch me play Bloodborne and be like, "Dude, you're bad."
That's what's cool about Twitch is like you either you build a following either by being excellent at the game you're playing or by just being a good personality, and the bar for good personality on Twitch is fucking low.
Yeah.
That's depressing.
No, yeah, but I honestly, to me, it makes me so happy because like the skills we had to cultivate trying to make like drunk strangers laugh.
Yeah.
It's like it's like cliche. It's taking candy from a baby on Twitch. It's so easy.
When we all know how to write jokes, so
Yeah.
that too is just like we're funnier than
We know
most
how to-
people on Twitch.
We know how to fill time. It's just a
Yeah.
long hosting set. That's
Exactly,
all it
yeah.
is. And
That rocks.
really
I like
recommend-
hosting.
dude. And certain people are just like they do it so well. Certain people like Dr. Disrespect. He is fucking just the production.
Can you get
value
like
on that.
banned for
He
like
got-
filming a kid pee?
I mean, he he went into a bathroom and there was a kid peeing, but he didn't directly go, "Hey, everybody, watch this kid fucking piss." But then he did get deplatformed for the NDA hasn't come out on like why, but he had a multi-million-dollar deal with Twitch, and then they banned him for no reason, or like haven't said the reason.
But
But
he smashed their Pikachu mug.
yeah. But like if you watch any of his streams, his production value is the highest on any stream ever, and it's like one of the most entertaining because he'll be like, all right, we'll see, and then he'll like cut and he'll be like in a Lambo that's like all custom made, and he'll be like driving and be like, was like high impact gaming, just like, and he like will go to his like locker room and he was like, this is what it's about. It's just like fucking
dude. Mark Smalls does something like that where you can like tip him to take a bong rip.
Yeah.
And what he does is he just hits like the transition to a different camera that is on his green screen, and it's this fake mansion, and he's like telling you to help yourself to like It's really cool what you can do on Twitch.
That rules. He was on a Zoom show that I did where he was driving in the car because he had forgotten he was booked on the show. He was actually driving, and then he was like, okay, I'm going to come back for my set. And when his set came back, he had made his background on Zoom a nicer car than he was in.
That is so funny.
And it was so funny.
The best version of a one of the best Zoom sets I've seen was Taylor Evans from
Sac.
Is it Modesto?
He's from the like Modesto area.
Oh, okay.
All those
Turlock,
yeah.
isn't that? Yeah.
He's so funny.
Yeah. I saw him do a set while he was grocery shopping.
Yeah, wasn't he like making people laugh there?
Yeah, and he was like doing some crowd work on other people who were shopping. It was just
That
perfect.
rules.
It was yeah.
I got so now. How long have you been doing this podcast?
Last Monday.
Okay, so how many have you done? What do you think? Like, what do you think the having now talked to like probably enough comics doing this? What do you think like the general consensus is about how people are transitioning through this is?
A lot of people are like now that stand-up's gone, you actually have to fix your life.
Yeah, okay.
Because the analogy I keep going back to is like everybody said that quarantine put a magnifying glass on all the country's problems, which is why like all the civil rights stuff and all this other stuff is happening. But I think it did that for everybody personally too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Where, like I said, the one thing keeping me going was gone, so I actually had to fix everything.
Yeah.
And I see people my age, like our age, agreeing with that, and then like an older guest like Caleb or Kasim, even though they have a big gap between them, they're older than us, and because they're like more fully formed humans, they were more just like we were working too hard. I kind of feel like it goes back to that like efficiency of working thing where I'm just kind of like, I was looking at how everyone else was working or how I perceived them to be working, and going like, they have it figured out, man, and I'm just like toiling away trying to like keep up with this. Where now I'm like, oh no, it seems like everyone just kind of had their own thing, and I just needed to find my own rhythm. And now I'm like just deep diving, like, okay, what is the most lucrative career I can find that will allow me to do stand up as often as I possibly can? Like, and I'm like obsessed with laying a foundation now that just allows me to like more effectively do this. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cause like you got like a little taste of things like at the beginning of the year, like being cool.
Yeah.
And being like, okay, like here's the little drops that make you go like, maybe I could do this.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe I could continue to do this.
Yeah. A lot of comics I know in our age bracket all felt like they were just about to take this big step up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had felt this because the thing is like the way I treated my set was like, all right, Monday through Wednesday, I'm probably not booked, so I'm doing as many open mics as I can, trying new jokes, and then whatever one joke seems to works consistently well enough, I'll slide that in to my usual 10 when it comes to all the shows I'm booked on and all the shows that I run.
Sure.
And the thing is, I think that was the right attitude for like a lot of the shows I was booked on, because like it was like I was a new comic, a lot of people were taking a chance on me.
Sure.
You want to do your best. But I realized right before quarantine how much of my own stage time I'd been wasting, because it's like I'm the booker. If I fuck up, I'm gonna book myself.
Yeah,
again.
you don't need to worry.
And the like just the 2 or 3 weeks before COVID hit, I was treating like my packed shows as open mics.
That's so smart.
And it was accelerating the joke writing so quickly because the data you were getting was so much better than an open mic, because an open mic you'll get like false positives or false negatives or whatever, but like it, and that like looking back, that's like one of my biggest regrets is like all the stage time I made for myself doing the same 10 over and over and over again.
Sure, yeah.
That's the thing too, is like how deep you can get into a joke and how old it's been, and you still find new angles on it too though. So it's like, fuck, like it's pretty good. Then it has to go into the rotation. But like slowly before quarantine, I was really like, I don't want to say any of these jokes anymore. So like I really got in the habit of doing like stream of consciousness.
Yeah.
And just like riffing on stage, and I was having like some of the most fun I've ever had.
I had to break. I realized because one of my biggest problems early on was talking too fast that I had overcorrected, and I was basically vaudeville. I was like way too performative and way too slow and not my natural speaking pace. And that's actually like a really cool thing. Me and Max Eddie were watching clips to like, see what we were doing wrong. And then we had the idea like, let's watch our oldest clips.
Wow,
and we
smart.
did.
Yeah.
And what we were surprised about was obviously we were better now, but we were surprised there were a couple things we did better back then. And I super recommend you go check it out because I was talking too fast.
Yeah, I'll go watch
But
your
I
old
also
clips.
sounded like myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And right before quarantine, I would like, I was doing more new jokes, but I was still closing with the same thing. And I would recognize like, oh, I'm about to hit the same rhythm I always do. And I would make myself break it, even if it was a little awkward. And it made the jokes more exciting to tell, which made the jokes better. And
yeah, totally. I get that. I think so much you get like in that rhythm of just doing it as a rep. And it makes it so much less funny because it's like, oh, it's not shiny and new and fun anymore.
Like, it's bad when you're like, I just want to get through this fucking day.
That's the thing too is like I mean I saw it on Zoom. I did a Zoom show last Wednesday, but like when a comic is just so, you could tell they're so not into their jokes and stuff. Like you could tell they're just faking it. And I was like, that's like one of the most frustrating things.
Dude, you ever see like a sad Sunday hosting set?
Yes.
Yeah, where it's like it's like one of like a comic you love and respect who's great, and you can just see how like I guess it's like their 6th show of the weekend or something like that, and they are so fucking sick of their set. Like,
And you can just feel it. Just it's not hitting. It's and those nights at Punch, when you watch another comic go up who's just going up on Sunday and get the crowd. I was so happy for them. Yeah. Like I was just like, oh, this means so much.
I was a week away from my second punch.
Really?
Yeah, I was a week away.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Which I'm honestly glad because the crowds had started dying off because people were starting to get scared. So they would have put me up in a brutal room.
Yeah.
But it still sucks.
You would have come back better.
I hope so. All right, so we've been going. I don't want to go too long because editing takes forever.
Sure.
So a thing I've been asking comics is what the wildest shit you've seen in quarantine has been. And for an example, my go-to was I was in the Panhandle. It's like a nice park, and I saw a grandma like fucking 75 or 80 or something jogging with a full Chernobyl gas mask on, like covering the eyes too, with like the big canisters on the front. And behind her there was a group of kids doing ring around the Rosie with masks on. And I was like, this is some stalker ass Fallout Mad Max post. Yeah. So have you guys seen anything wild like that? Kasim shared like he saw somebody give somebody head with a hole in their mask.
Oh, that rocks.
And I want to clip it, but the detail he goes into, like I legit don't know if I can put it out. But yeah.
Do you?
That's a good question.
It's tough. Like I feel
maybe don't because I could get rid of this.
I think the craziest stuff in quarantine was the start of it, the grocery store stuff, where like going to the grocery store looked like a high-end competitive sport.
Oh,
like like the amount, like what people would do and just like how people acted and stuff was just like insane to just see like panic on people. Oh yeah, actually,
I never had to look over my shoulder in a Whole Foods before.
Yeah,
dude,
right.
I actually went to a Target and like this was a month into quarantine, and I saw a guy with a bottle of Jack Daniels and a big ass box of Magnum Trojan condoms.
And that was his quarantine.
Yeah, I was all like, he's bold as hell. He's like, because the lines are socially distanced, so they make you wait. And it was like in the middle of the big aisle before all the fucking things, the checkouts for Target. So he was the most obvious, like, everyone sees this gold-plated fucking, condom box that this guy's at. He's just no shame.
Goes so hard.
Yeah.
Right when this was all cracking down, I, for some reason, just had a lot of toilet paper. And I posted a picture of me with it, like a bunch of it stacked on my hand on my Instagram story. And it just said ladies. And that was it. And the amount of actual responses I got was like psychotic, where I was like, okay, shut up. Like
were people giving you shit or were like, hey, can I get some of that?
Yeah, like, well, no, and girls like being like, oh my God, that's so funny. Ha ha ha. What are you doing? And I
Wait,
was like,
what?
And I was like, what the fuck? You can shit at my house. That's fine. Like, I'll let you do it. Like, it's
You don't
okay.
have to fuck me.
Yeah.
Shit,
Like,
dude.
dude, I have enough. Like, yeah, the amount of real responses I got from that was like insane. Wow. I'm trying to think of the
I mean, that counts.
that alone. Yeah, that was so early on in it. Yeah, man. That's probably it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's that. Unless you guys have anything you want to talk about or you've been thinking of.
Not really. We're doing a podcast now.
Okay, you want to plug that?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
It's, we haven't released it or really worked hard on it.
Yeah, no. It's getting better and better with
It's
each
getting
one.
better. Yeah, the last episode we recorded Thursday was really good. But yeah, we have. I would say that's probably the only good one.
Yeah,
recorded.
so
What is it?
far
What's
the
the-
only
what's the
usable
hook?
one.
Or is it just you guys
it's
hanging
just
out?
It's the
Super
four
stacked.
of us hanging out. Yeah.
Oh, it's the super stacked people.
yeah.
So you, Sudakaran, and oh my God,
Grayson.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've just been doing it over Zoom.
Yeah.
But because we tried to do a Zoom show type deal.
I
It was basically a podcast.
I
type
kind
deal.
of ruined that, I think.
Why? How so?
It was the week before all the George Floyd stuff started, and we had Cedric Drake on, and I kept asking him to give me the hood pass, and then 4 days later, all that happened, and I was like, what if we didn't put that out? Like, this isn't funny anymore. They're like the content on it. They're like,
climate.
Austin, oh, your like brothers are black. Haha. Can't you just ask them? And I'm like, yeah. Have you seen them? It's like they're not the people I should ask for this. But like, yeah. So we had that idea, and I did. I will say that was my fault.
Why not try it again though?
I think we're having more
Because
fun.
the
just
thing
doing
is, every time we do it, he says.
yeah,
Something
yeah.
like-
The
He calls
podcast
up
is called
Cedric Drake.
Austin's Getting the Hood Pass.
all right. Well, that will maybe be the title of the podcast.
Dude, please, that rocks.
All right, I'm gonna write that down. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for coming.
Dude, thank
I
you for
really
having
appreciate
us.
it.
This is
All right,
fucking awesome.
Tyler Stannard, Austin Blaylock. I'm plugging your Instagrams right now.
Thank you.
Cool.